Welcome back to Movie Recap. Today I'm gonna show you a 2011 American horror film called Fright Night. Spoilers ahead. Sit back, relax and enjoy the video. The movie starts with a family under the attack of a local vampire that feeds on families for 400 years now. Adam's family is ripping apart. But Adam is the only one left. He hides below the bed and grabs a gun hidden under it. And he attempts to use it against the vampire that continues to feed on his family. But the vampire thrashes the bed and finds him. Blood scatters everywhere as the vampire consumes him. The following morning, Charlie talks to his mom, Jane, that his motorbike is not working, as he is about to go to school. They discuss about the large garbage container next door that is causing a lot of problems for them. But suddenly his girlfriend Amy calls him to give him a ride to school, as his motorbike is not working. Later, at school, the professor conducts an attendance, but Charlie notices that Adam is not at the room. Ed looks at him as he grows worried of the absence of Adam. After class, Ed approaches Charlie and his new friends, Mark and Ben, the certified cool kids at school. Ed asks Charlie to accompany him to visit Adam's home, as they were once very close to each other. He warns Charlie that he will spread the video of when they were younger, about a lame monster alien role play. Charlie arrives with Amy at their home and notices that Jane is talking with their new neighbor Jerry. He is fixing the front yard, but he receives a text message from Ed that he is late for their meet-up at Adam's house. Charlie sprints towards the house of Adam to meet him, but Ed scolds him as he is late and almost forgets about their meeting. Charlie and Ed enter the doggy door to open the main door, as no one is answering the doorbell. The two surveys the area for signs of Adam and his family, but Ed mentions that there have been attacks of vampires at their neighborhood for some time now, and he grows worried of Adam's family state. But Charlie is skeptical of the vampire attacks, and his new neighbor is the vampire. But they begin to argue about that Charlie's separation with them. Ed mentions that Charlie is now changing into one of the cool kids. But Charlie responds with, "My life got better when we separated," and then leaves. As they go separate ways, Mark encounters a skating Ed on the way home. He assaults Ed and scares him off. But as Ed runs towards the fences, he accidentally drops his bag while trying to escape from Mark. He gets stuck at a house with Jerry, the alleged vampire. As Ed panics, he attempts to end Jerry with a blessed cross of Jesus. But he fails, and the water turns red as he falls to his demise at the fangs of the alleged vampire at an abandoned pool. The following morning, Amy fetches Charlie as he is late for school as he reminisces with his memories with Adam and Ed. Charlie and Amy arrive at the school. His professor conducts another attendance, but now both Adam and Ed are absent, and he speculates that there's something ominous happening at their town. After the class, Charlie visits the house of Ed to investigate. Ed's mom and dad greet him as they remember the times where Adam, Charlie, and Ed played pretend at their backyard when they were young. Charlie asks for permission to get a book at Ed's room, but he's just going to investigate his room for clues. Ed's parents approve and he enters Ed's room. Charlie surveys the room, and notices a notebook containing visuals of weapons that can kill a vampire. And as he opens the computer, he sees a file with videos of their new neighbor that Ed speculates to be a vampire. Those videos are recordings of Ed as he stalks Jerry outside his home. There is one particular video recording done by Adam and Ed where Jerry is outside, but he is not seen at the camera lens, proving he is really a vampire. Later that night, Charlie goes back home to rest and suddenly, Jerry asks him for a beer as he consumes his last beer supply a while ago. Charlie panics, but tries to keep calm as he already knows that Jerry is a vampire in disguise. He hands the beer to Jerry, but it is widely known that vampires cannot enter the house if they are not welcomed by the owner of the home. Which Charlie hands it slowly and a little bit far from the door, indicating that Jerry is indeed a vampire. Charlie goes upstairs, but Amy asks him where he is for the past 2 hours. Charlie and Amy exchange spits and Amy suggests that they go under the covers. But as they went at it, Charlie notices that Doris arrives at the front door of Jerry. It alarms him as Jerry sees him at the window peeking. After a few moments, Charlie and Amy hear Doris screaming and decide to call the police. But as the police arrive, Jerry explains that they were just having an intimate moment at the bedroom. Before Amy leaves, she gets upset and feels neglect towards Charlie as he prefers to watch Jerry at the window. Jerry leaves his house at dawn, and Charlie plans to invade his home to investigate. He enters the back door and his infiltration is a success. Inside, he sees a lot of antique items and a symbol of a cult which he takes a photo. But as soon as he is about to leave, Jerry arrives and leaves Charlie no choice, but to hide at the closet, where he sees a room filled with lights. One of the rooms contains Doris asking for help. He tries to picklock the door, but is unsuccessful. Charlie hears Jerry enters the main room and he hides at an empty room. Jerry enters the secret room and bites Doris' bloody neck. Charley peeks at the door, but Doris whispers to close the door. Jerry throws her at the room and leaves the secret room. Charley rushes to open the door where Doris is crying. He picklocks the door and grabs Doris to escape the house of the vampire. But as they attempt to escape, Jerry keeps on returning to the kitchen to get food, which delays the escape of Charley and Doris. Once Jerry moves to the living room, they quickly grab the opportunity and go for the door to escape. But as they are outside, Doris explodes as she reaches sunlight, leaving Charley in terror and confusion. Later that afternoon, he searches online about the famous vampire hunter Peter Vincent. He constructs a plan of infiltrating the building of Peter as an interviewer and tells him about Jerry being a vampire. He introduces himself as part of the Sun Company and mentions about Jerry and the findings in his home that proves that Jerry is indeed a vampire. But Peter thinks of it as a joke and asks Charley to leave the photos at his desk and leave, as they are only wasting each other's time. After that incident, Charley prepares an anti-vampire system around their home to protect them from Jerry. But Jerry attacks Ben and Mark at their car as they are stalking Charley's home, as he's been acting weird for the past few days. Amy arrives and gets furious at Charley as he's avoiding for some time now. He explains that they're in danger as Jerry is a vampire that will kill them. Jerry knocks at the door, but Charley warns his mother that letting him inside will put them all in danger. And his mother tells Jerry to go away for a bit. Jerry then mentions about Charley trespassing his home when he was not around yesterday. But his mother tells Jerry to call the authorities, but Jerry instead digs the gas line at their lawn to blow their house up, making the rule of house and vampires useless. After the explosion, Amy, Charley, and Jane are safe and run straight for the car to escape. Jerry thinks of a way to slow them down, and notices Charley's broken motorbike and throws it at them. A car chase commences between Jane and Jerry as they attempt to escape, although they are bested by the vampire, and he immobilizes their car after taking a hit and run. A passing-by car hits them at the rear and gets furious, but Jerry attacks the owner of that car to feed himself. Charley attempts to stab Jerry a stake to end him, but he fails miserably. His mother notices a broken street sign and stabs Jerry instead, although it does not kill him but immobilizes him temporarily. Jane falls after getting the idea of killing Jerry at the scene, making her faint. Charley and Amy uses the other car and goes to the nearest hospital to cure her. Peter looks at the pictures that Charley owns at his table. He remembers that the cult looks familiar, and immediately calls Charley to go at his building to talk. A few moments after, Amy and Charley is talking to Peter ways how to kill Jerry. Peter scoffs and drinks alcohol as there is no way that they can kill him without proper equipment, but they are abruptly interrupted by a delivery, and Peter's assistant receives it. To Charley's surprise, it's Ed as a vampire. He explains that he previously turned into a vampire after getting attacked by Jerry at the pool. And now, he seeks vengeance. Charley fights Ed to keep Amy safe. Amy and Charley gets creative and uses Peter's anti-vampire weapons to defeat Ed. After some time, Ed gets hit by a mace by Amy, and as a finisher, Charley stabs him with a stake at the heart. Jerry arrives as Ed informs him through a phone call before dying. Amy finds a silver bullets to fill up a revolver and uses it to shoot Jerry. Although her aim is bad and resorts to throwing the chalice filled with holy water to burn Jerry. They escape using the stairs, but get separated at the club room as there are a lot of people in there. Jerry grabs the lost Amy and bites her to turn her into a vampire. Charley devastatingly returns to see Peter to say that Jerry successfully turns his girlfriend into a vampire. Peter shares about his past, pertaining to Jerry killing his family before and leaving him. He survived by hiding, which he also did a few moments ago while Jerry and Ed attacks his building. He gives Peter a stake blessed by Saint Michael, which can revert the vampires that Jerry turned into. He emphasizes that is the only help that he can provide to Charley, as he does not want to deal with vampires anymore. Peter asks Charley for a plan, but when he sarcastically tells that he can't win unless he burns and stab Jerry at the same time. Which Charley keeps in mind, even though it is near impossible to execute. Charley visits a local firearms store to buy several items that are necessary to kill Jerry in his lair. He buys a crossbow, a hunting suit, arrows, and a face mask. He then returns to the house of Jerry to kill him. He prepares his equipment and rushes towards the house of Jerry. His first action that he does is to break the windows to let the sunlight enter the house. The next is to survey the area for other possible hidden entrances. He sees Amy at the same room where Doris is before. Amy is dragged into another sublevel of the house of the vampire. Charley rushes down to the living room, but to his surprise, Peter is there and offers to help him to also avenge his fallen parents. Peter leads Charley to the floor trap where Amy is currently. They fall into a dark room that appears to be an old basement. They both survey the area in order to find Amy and Jerry. Amy screams at the back of a blue door. Peter tells Charley that this is probably a trap, but that is what he is expecting to occur. Jerry separates them both by pushing Charley at the blue room while dragging Peter at the main basement room. At the blue room, Charley saves Amy as she is at the corner of the room waiting for someone to save her. They hug each other as they are apart, but Amy tells her it is too late as the blood of a vampire now runs at her veins. She attempts to turn him into a vampire, but Charley immediately grabs the stake and stabs her shallowly to push her behind. On the other side, Peter miserably misses Jerry with his shotgun. Jerry mocks his mother and father's shooting aims, and as he finally shoots his chest, it is still not enough to kill him. Peter falls to the ground, and Jerry throws him a small rock that is enough to make him bleed to summon his vampire minions. Peter is now on the ground surviving many vampire bites, as many as he can, waiting for Charley to help him. Charley rushes to the main room to help Peter. He grabs the shotgun and shoots the ceiling to let the sun shine at the basement. It kills most of the vampires, but he is already too late as Peter is now slowly turning into a vampire. He is hit by Mark, who is now a vampire. He falls along with Peter at a part where a large amount of sunshine is present. Jerry torments Charley by exchanging spits and blood with Amy that is rather enjoying the moment. Charley asks for Peter's lighter to burn himself, and stab Jerry the stake blessed by Saint Michael. He thanks Peter for the sarcastic plan, as it is his last resort to end Jerry and make the vampire minions into normal people once more. The movie ends by Charley burning himself and running towards Jerry and tackling him. Although Jerry is just too strong for him, Peter thinks of a way to help him. He then slowly grabs the shotgun and shoots the ceiling to make a bigger hole for the sunshine to enter the basement. Charley is thrashed around by Jerry multiple times, but he holds Jerry at place to make him burn, which exposes Jerry's heart, giving Charley enough opportunity to stab him in the heart. Peter throws the stake to him, and he quickly stabs Jerry without hesitations, ending the life of the 400-year-old vampire named Jerry, making the vampire minions into humans once more. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.